Peter, hi.
Eric.
Could you introduce yourself in a few words? What's your activity and why you have been interested in the Enneagram?
Well, I'm now a trainer, an Enneagram trainer with the Enneagram Professional Training Program in the narrative tradition with Helen Palmer and Dr. David Daniels. And I became interested in the Enneagram many years ago. In the late 1970s, I was in Berkeley, California, and I was a holistic counselor. And so I was interested in systems that involve the mind, the heart, and the body. When the Enneagram came along, when the first public class appeared in Berkeley in 1978, I had the opportunity to be there, and I was just struck by what a great system for understanding people, for personality type, and also character structure. And it was like nothing I had seen before in the field of psychology.
Thank you. In which fields have you been teaching this Enneagram?
Well, you know, it started in the area of transpersonal psychology. In Berkeley in the 1970s, there were people who were interested in psychology and spirituality. And so the Enneagram became a way to develop not only in a psychological sense, but also in a spiritual sense. So that was where it began. Now, over time, the Enneagram has also expanded to other applications. It's still a great tool for the integration of psychology and spirituality, but it's also being used, as you know, in the field of education and in the field of business. It's a great tool wherever people are working together, they're interested in human development, and they have to understand one another and be able to cooperate with one another and reduce the unnecessary conflicts that can come from our personalities.
Thank you. What is your special interest in the narrative traditional way of teaching?
You know, I first learned this in the narrative tradition. The narrative tradition actually began with Claudio Naranjo, who was we say the mother of the Enneagram. He was the one that brought the basic matrix, the basic outline of the types and the issues of the 9 types, and put it together with modern psychology. And so in his early teaching, in small groups in Berkeley, in his own program, he started to interview people in the room. So this was formalized in 1978 and from then on by Dr. Kathleen Spieth and Helen Palmer, who actually taught through a series of panels. Every night for 9 weeks there'd be a panel of a particular type. Different looking people, different ages, male and female, but all having this particular way of seeing the world.
What would be the forces of the program EPTP on your sense? The strengths?
The EPTP, the Enneagram Professional Training Program, was started in 1988 when Helen Palmer, really the original teacher in California, main public teacher in California, allied with Dr. David Daniels, who was a psychiatrist and a professor of psychology at Stanford University. And they felt that there was a need to actually train teachers in the narrative tradition. And so over the years, the program has spread through many places in the world. We travel to different countries. Also, we have highly regarded associates like yourself here in France who now do teacher trainings in the narrative tradition. Also, the program is available to people who want an in-depth experience of the panel method. And why we think the narrative tradition is so important, there's actually 3 reasons. The first is that we hear from people's lived experience. And what this does is it allows us to keep the theory tied to the experience of people who understand their type structure from the inside out. There are many wonderful theories about the Enneagram, and more are constantly being developed, but we feel it's very important to keep the theories closely associated to people's reports of how it is for them in their daily lives. Secondly, the narrative tradition means that you're in the room with people who are talking about their experience as the different personality types. And so there's an opportunity to learn in three centers, not just through the mind, but also through the heart and through the body. So we say, if you're in the room with the panels and you're hearing and you're being available to what they have to say, that you're getting a more complete learning experience. And then thirdly, we find that the narrative tradition really builds community. Because people get a chance to tell their stories in the context of the Enneagram and to be received and be responded to. And so what we find is that of the many ways to teach the Enneagram, and there are many good ways to teach the Enneagram, that the narrative tradition really builds community. And we experience this not only in the United States, but with our friends and students and colleagues in many, many countries around the world.
Thank you. What would be your wish for the development of the Enneagram in the world in the years to come?
Well, I think the Enneagram is a powerful way for working on ourselves. It allows us to really identify what are the central issues in our psychological development. And those are the same issues, the same obstacles, if you will, to our spiritual development. And whether that's in a religious context or in a secular context. I also see that wherever the Enneagram goes, that it helps people build bridges to one another. It helps people to cooperate at higher levels of effectiveness, whether that's a husband and a wife, or parents and their children, or close friends, or teachers in the classroom, or now we see it in organizations, really helping people to cooperate at a higher level. And I think in an international sense, the Enneagram, the spread of the Enneagram, will help us to build bridges to people in other cultures.
Merci Peter, merci.